Hi, I'm Bob Batcher, and this is Prime Time with Bob. I am with a woman who I get to know every day better and better, and hopefully in the next couple of minutes we're going to meet her even more. She is #1 advocate. She cares for people, no matter who they are, no matter what condition in life they are. I would say a Renaissance woman in the full sense of it. Shirley Confino, how you doing?
Hi, how are you doing? Shirley Confino-Rehder.
There we go again. I told you, I'm going to learn something new every day. Your life, I'm jealous of it.
Why? I'm a woman, you're a man.
There we go. That's probably part of it. You were back in the 70s, a Jewish woman from New York, right?
When I moved here, yes, 79.
And you were going to knock the world dead, right?
I didn't know that, but yes.
And did you?
I was going to try. I was told by a friend who has passed away. He says, Shirley, I was involved with buying a building downtown before I even moved in. And my friend called me up. He says, Shirley, whatever you're going to do, and however long you're going to stay in Norfolk, it will never be the same.
But I understand that the advice you got back in the 70s, though, was to fit in, right?
To fit in? No.
But how were you? So what was your success model?
Who told you that? Who told you that?
What was your success model then? Because what was Norfolk like in the 70s?
Well,
because by the way, you're a tiny lady too.
I'm not a tiny lady. I'm a very big lady. I'm just not as tall as you, but I'm not a tiny lady. You know, a friend of mine at Metropolitan, we used to walk for lunch together. She was very tall. She says, how does it feel being so small? I says, I'm not small. I'm just not as tall as you. I have never felt short. Never. My mother was shorter than me. She was a very strong, active woman. I have never felt short.
You know, I got to tell you, we were watching something on Zoom, a Zoom thing, you know, and we noticed it was a famous actor, and he had a really tiny door in his bedroom. And it became the focus of my wife's and my conversation. What is that tiny door? It was a little 2-foot bathroom door, probably. Pre-Shirley days, right?
Yes, yes.
And I thought of you. I said, Shirley would never allow that 2-foot door to be there.
Well,
because you were really one of the first ones to introduce universal design and accessibility.
Yeah, I'm the first one. Yes.
So is it safe to say you're passionate about it?
Oh yes, I've been doing it for 50 years.
Now,
before universal design became known as universal design, it was known as barrier-free design.
Okay. Now, what if you run into a bureaucrat that says we can't afford to do that?
I'd get someone to talk to him about it, like my banker. No, I would want to know why he feels that way, because it costs more money to stay the way he is than how to explore the outside world and bring in more people. It depends if he wants to stay in his hut, then he's entitled to stay wherever he wants, you know.
Yeah, because developers and builders are following the rules, and is that because of ADA or is it because of Shirley's out there making it happen?
Well, that's a very interesting question. Before the ADA, I was asked to design some model homes, and that's how I started my business with model homes. And they had no idea what I was talking about when I said the steps, you have to have an elevator. And the doorways in the bathroom have to be wider. Because of my background, barrier-free design, 50 years, the ADA is 30 years old, this is 50 years. I wouldn't let a stone be unturned if I couldn't make an impact in the design. If they hired me, I was not a furniture dealer, I was a designer. Mm-hmm. And a lot of the model homes are furniture dealers. And if they wanted me to work with them, they had to be flexible. And I could not, I remember designing a house that one it won a first award, only because it added an elevator.
Wow. Okay, I want to switch gears on you because brick and mortar, physical,
Yeah. Well, the building
accessibility is one
building
thing.
you're in, I made accessible.
Yeah, but you and I, you're the chairman of the Mayor's Commission on People with Disabilities, and we just came out of that meeting.
Yeah.
There's a tougher challenge out there now that's not physical necessarily. It's accessibility to the mind, to institutions, to schools. How do you change that world?
By example, by making it easier for them to understand, and by getting people like you and Ellen and so many other parents for the school system. They have to be vocal. They cannot sit on their laurels and say this is wrong. They have to be insist on role modeling for the school system, and that's how changes are made. You can't tell a politician that never had children, or whose children have gone out of school, and you can't tell a politician what's needed unless the politician understands.
Yeah, because boy, can I relate to that? Not that I'm a politician, but having taken over Primeplus senior centers now, even though I was one of the participants, I'm a senior. To see it through the eyes and the footsteps of a senior has given me a whole new awareness.
Yeah.
And the idea of creating community where people can feel safe to talk about their concerns, their issues, and find comfort in that. I mean, that's one of the barriers. But when I come to the commission meeting on people with disabilities, and I'm a very positive guy, my heart goes out for people, even like Adele Martin, who's the chairman, who's got 2 sons that are special needs, and a husband. You've got people that need to conform to the mainstream, but they can't. So what suggestion do you have for people to be able to not give up? Because I also see a lot of that.
You have to keep fighting.
You've been doing it for a few years.
You have to keep fighting. You have to put common sense into your argument, not facts and figures. Common sense.
So
I'm not a statistician. I've always been a common sense person.
And you just keep plotting.
If I can't pick up this cup, you have to make it possible for me to drink my coffee. If I have to drink with a straw, I have to have a straw available. It's common sense.
So you're a solution-based person? There's got to be a solution?
Oh yeah, there's always a solution. Always a solution. I've never been in a situation that I've not been able to resolve something.
Wow.
I can't remember ever being in a position that I could not resolve anything, except when people don't want to pay me. Then, and that very rarely happens now.
There are people. There are people probably watching this who are about ready to say, "Shirley, that sounds great, but this COVID thing has gotten me. I'm done." What do you say to them?
Well, everyone is in the same boat around the world. It's not just home. It's not just Norfolk. It's not just in my house. It's not just in your house. It's the whole world, and the whole world can't fall apart because there's a flu around. Mm-hmm. You have to make it work for you.
Yeah,
you have to keep busy. You can't interact with your friends or your relatives anymore the way you used to. Then there's Zoom. You have to learn how to use Zoom. I'm having a party next Tuesday. I have to decide what I'm going to do. I've already bought myself a plant. I'm making myself happy. You have to make yourself happy.
Oh boy, do I remember March 12th and March 16th when it comes to Primeplus, because it rocked our world.
Yes.
And for about, 48 hours, we licked our wounds and said, oh my gosh, now what? I sent an email out the other day that started off with, there are exciting times for seniors in Hampton Roads. Yes. Because we were able to say, these are some opportunities to really think differently.
You think
and,
differently.
and then
you
act differently.
Yeah.
And thanks to a lot of people coming around, we've been able to do that.
You have to take advantage of opportunities. What I'm doing now, I'm a docent at the Chrysler.
Mm-hmm.
I introduce tours for the blind in 1990, in 2003 at the Muscarelle, and I've introduced it again, reintroduced it to the Chrysler Museum. I am forming tours for the blind. I am touring tours for the deaf, and I'm forming tours, but they're not going to be big tours. It's not going to be 15, 20 people. It's going to be 5 people, 7 people, 10 people, and have docents that are feeling the same way as I am. So you keep yourself busy and active and participating in the world, and it's a virus that's putting a hamper on stuff that you used to do, and you have to change what you used to do.
There you go. Do what you normally do, but do it differently.
That's right.
If anybody's interested in those tours, they can give Primeplus a holler, and we'll sign people up to, because you're working with us. Okay, I've only got a couple of minutes left.
Okay.
And one of the reasons I like meeting with you in Zoom is I can just admire that back wall of yours. In the past, we've met at places like Captain D's or a meeting room, but I have to tell you, I kind of get distracted looking around your walls. That's your world, isn't it?
Well, art has always been my world.
So
I used to be a good photographer. I still have some wonderful photographs that I've taken. That's won awards. I no longer paint because I haven't got room for it, and I really love my drawings now. I do pastel drawings, and I do black and whites, and I go to Chrysler at least twice a week, and I spend 2 hours drawing. And I invited a friend that I met at Old Dominion. We draw together, and now I'm teaching someone else to draw at the Chrysler. Doesn't cost anything. It's empty. The rooms are empty, and it's something new to do, and it's something I love. Right now, in an hour, I'm going to meet my friend at MoCA. Also, she's a docent. We met at the Chrysler the other day. I said, "What are we doing together?" We're meeting at MoCA. There's so much to do, and you don't have to do it in a crowd. You do it with one person, two people, or by yourself. And you've asked me earlier, what keeps me busy? The work on the commission. I'm always writing letters and making phone calls. My drawings, my writings. I do writing, and I'm not busy. I am always busy.
you are truly in Renaissance, and you know what? You're sneaky.
Why am I sneaky?
Because I wanted to get a tour of your apartment and all your art, but we've been so engaged in our conversation, I've run out of time.
So you'll have to spend more time next time.
There we go. Shirley, thanks for everything that you have done for many, many years.
Well,
not necessarily fitting in.
You know, I was brought up poor, never had money, but we always did something for someone else. My mother and my father insisted we do something for someone else, and that's what I'm doing. And while I'm doing it for someone else, I'm doing it for myself. That's the motto of Judaism. Always doing something for somebody else.
And that's a perfect way to end Prime Time with Bob. Thanks a lot, Shirley. Hey, keep in mind, stay safe and stay connected.